India, the gender bias of legal systems. In India, the legal system has a serious gender bias, and men aren't exempt. Property laws favor women, but that often leaves men with less access to their own land. Fathers can be forced into emotionally taxing custody battles with little consideration for their parental role. The legal system, steeped in tradition, creates a massive gap in equal rights. As a result, men are left with fewer resources and fewer chances to speak up. These laws are slow to change, but the fight for fairness continues. Saudi Arabia, the male guardianship system. In Saudi Arabia, men are legally bound by the male guardianship system, giving them control over women's lives. A Saudi man must approve a woman's marriage, travel, and even access to healthcare. In this system, men's decisions are heavily scrutinized by society and law. The guardianship system stems from strict interpretations of Sharia law, but it is slowly being challenged. Still, it's a heavy burden on men who must constantly navigate this complex web of control and responsibility. South Korea, forced military service. South Korea's mandatory military service for all men means 2 years of forced service. With few exceptions, every male citizen must leave behind his civilian life to serve in the army. The law is rooted in the country's need to defend itself against its northern neighbor, North Korea. But this requirement often interrupts men's careers and personal lives. While some men try to evade it, the penalties are severe, including jail time. For South Korean men, it's a rite of passage that no one can escape. United States, men's rights in divorce. In U.S. family courts, men face a major uphill battle during divorce. The legal system often favors women in custody battles, leaving fathers with limited access to their children. Men also end up paying hefty child support and alimony fees. These biased laws are the result of a history that assumed women were the primary caregivers. Today, the effects still linger, often leaving men feeling powerless. It's a tough reality for fathers fighting for both their rights and their families. United States, the consequences of incarceration. In the U.S., men, especially black men, make up a staggering 93% of the prison population. The system is punishing and offers little in the way of rehabilitation. For many men, entering prison becomes a life sentence with little hope of re-entry into society. Discriminatory laws and policies dating back to the war on drugs continue to target men of color. With overcrowded prisons and minimal mental health support, the consequences of mass incarceration are far-reaching and devastating. United Arab Emirates, child custody laws in the Middle East. In the UAE, fathers have little chance of winning custody of their children after divorce. Family courts tend to favor mothers, and men are often seen as secondary parents. The law grants fathers visitation rights, but they rarely get primary custody, no matter their role in raising the children. These laws, rooted in a patriarchal view of family, reflect outdated beliefs about men's involvement in parenting. For fathers in the UAE, it's an uphill battle that often ends with them losing both their children and their voice. Iran, the death penalty for men. In Iran, the death penalty is often a grim reality for men, particularly those accused of crimes like drug trafficking or political dissent. With a high execution rate, Iran regularly imposes the death sentence on men, often without fair trials or access to proper defense. While women may be spared execution or receive lighter sentences, men face severe punishment. The death penalty remains a tool for social control, with men often bearing the brunt of its application. For many, it's a life-altering, irreversible consequence. Pakistan, forced marriage, and male victims. In Pakistan, forced marriage is an issue that's not just limited to women. Men, especially in rural areas, are often coerced into marriages against their will. These unions can involve social pressures or even legal threats. Male victims of forced marriage can be left trapped, with limited legal recourse to escape. The legal system is often unsympathetic to their plight, and their voices remain silent in a society that predominantly views forced marriage as a women's issue. The struggle for freedom from forced marriage is real, but it's rarely recognized. Japan, the wage gap, and gender bias in the workplace. In Japan, men in female-dominated industries like nursing or teaching face significant gender bias. Despite the belief that men hold the top spots in most professions, those working in these sectors often deal with lower pay, fewer opportunities, and societal stigma. Japan's workplace is still influenced by traditional gender roles, which can hurt men's career prospects. This bias, often overlooked in global discussions, keeps men from achieving fair treatment. The discrimination they face in the workplace is a reminder that gender bias works both ways. Australia, the no-fault divorce law and its effects on men. In Australia, the no-fault divorce law makes it easy for either spouse to end a marriage, but it doesn't always work out well for men. Men often find themselves at a disadvantage when it comes to asset division, child custody, and alimony. The system, while meant to protect individuals, ends up leaving many men financially devastated. A man's assets may be split unfairly, and his right to remain close to his children can be compromised. The law may aim for fairness, but in practice, it often leaves men behind. United Kingdom, lack of mental health resources for men. In the UK, mental health resources for men are woefully inadequate. Men are often discouraged from seeking help due to social stigma and a lack of targeted services. This has led to an alarming rise in male suicides, with men making up 3/4 of suicide deaths. Despite the growing recognition of mental health issues, men's needs are still overlooked in favor of more generalized approaches. The absence of sufficient care means men continue to suffer in silence, often without the support they desperately need. Sweden, the future of men's rights. Sweden has long been a leader in gender equality, but men still face challenges in the legal system. From custody laws to the gendered expectations around family roles, men are often marginalized in social and legal reforms. However, change is coming. The growing awareness of male issues, such as high suicide rates and parental rights, is leading to a shift. Sweden is beginning to make strides toward ensuring men's rights are just as recognized as women's. The future looks promising, but much remains to be done.